payments faster, so that nearly 1.6 million students who make their payments on time, they have the option of only paying 10% of their monthly income towards loans once they graduate. And that means if you decide to be a teacher, or you decide to be a social worker, or you're going into a profession that doesn't pay a lot of money, you still have that option, because you know that your monthly payment will be manageable. And that's important. And then we decided we've got to make sure every student has access to a simple fact sheet on student loans and financial aid. So you can have all the information you need to make intelligent choices on your own about how to pay for college. So some of you know we created this new Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. It's a watchdog for consumers. And one of their mandates is to focus on student loans, and so they've produced a website and fact sheets called Know Before You Owe. Know Before You Owe, which is something I wish Michelle and I knew about. Wish we had had. So we've done those steps to help provide you good information and to make sure that we've expanded access to Pell Grants and student loans. But that's not enough. It's not enough just to increase student aid. We can't keep on subsidizing skyrocketing tuition, or we're just going to run out of money. We'll just run out of money. So what I said to colleges and universities is you guys have to do your parts to keep costs down. And I told Congress, steer federal aid to those schools that keep tuition affordable and provide good value and serve their students well. We put colleges on notice. If you can't show us that you're making every effort to keep tuition from going up, then funding from taxpayers will go down. You've got to make an effort. We've got to hold colleges accountable if they don't. Of course, public universities like this one also understand that states have to do their part. State legislators have to do their part. Last year, over 40 states cut their higher education spending. Not good. These budget cuts have been one of the biggest factors in your tuition going up. So we're challenging states to take responsibility. We told them, if you can find new ways to bring down costs of college, make it easier for students to graduate, we'll help you do it. So that's what we've already done. We've helped families, helped more young people afford a higher education. We're offering incentives to states and colleges and universities to keep costs down. And now, guess what? Congress has to do their part. Congress has to do their part. They need to extend the tuition tax credit that we put in place when I first came into office that saves middle-class families thousands of dollars. They need to safeguard aid for low-income students so that today's freshmen and sophomores know they're going to be able to count on it. Our Pell Grants have to be, there for students. They need to give more young people the chance to earn your way through college by doubling the number of work-study jobs over the next 5 years. And then there's something that they've got to do right now. They have to prevent the interest rates on federal student loans from shooting up and shaking you down, and that's where you come in. All right, now, 5 years ago, Congress cut the rates on federal student loans in half. That's 5 years ago, not the current Congress 5 years ago. On July 1st of this year, 2 months from now, that rate cut expires. I want everybody to understand this. Interest rates on those loans will double overnight, starting on July 1st if Congress does not act. And for each year that Congress does not act, the average student with these loans is going to rack up an additional $1,000 in debt. So this is money out of your pocket. It's basically a $1,000 tax hike for more than 7 million students across America. almost 170,000 students here in Colorado alone. Now, I just want to see a show of hands, because I want to make sure I'm not misinformed here. How many of you can afford to pay an extra $1,000 right now? I didn't think so. So stopping this should be a no-brainer. Helping more of our young people afford college should be at the forefront of America's agenda. It shouldn't be a Democratic or Republican issue. Think about it. This wasn't a partisan issue in the past. The Stafford loans, that's named after a Republican senator. Pell Grants, they're named after a Democratic senator. When America, that's what we're supposed to be thinking about. Look, when Congress cut these rates 5 years ago, 77 Republicans in the House of Representatives voted for it. Of course, a couple of hundred Democrats voted for it, but that's okay. It was a bipartisan effort. Today, you've got Republicans who run for Congress, and they're not saying whether or not they're going to stop your rates from doubling. Some have hinted that they'd only do it if we cut things like aid for low-income students instead. So think about this. They'll say, we'll keep your rates low as long as we're messing with folks who need them even more. Does that make sense to you? I want to read a quote. This is from a Republican Congresswoman. I didn't really understand this. I'm quoting her. She said that she has very little tolerance for people who tell me they graduate with debt because there's no reason for that. She said students who rack up student loan debt are just sitting on their butts, having opportunity dumped in your lap. You guys can Google or what have you. Now think about that. Think about that. I can tell you, Michelle and I, we didn't take out loans because we were lazy. You didn't take out loans because you're lazy. You don't take out loans lightly. You don't say to yourself, man, this is great. I'm going to be really in debt. I'm thrilled. You did it because the cost of college kept on going up and you're trying to graduate. And if these guys were serious about making college more affordable, then they wouldn't be voting to cut financial aid in their budget. If you look at their budget, what it means is you're going to be cutting aid for 10 million college students by an average of more than $1,000. They certainly wouldn't let student rates double overnight if they really cared about this issue. They say that, well, we've got to do it because we've got to bring down the deficit. Now, first of all, these guys ran up the deficit. Remember, these are the same folks who voted in favor of 2 wars without paying for it, and big tax cuts without paying for it. They just voted to keep billions of dollars of taxpayer subsidies to big oil companies who are raking in record profits. They just voted to let millionaires and billionaires keep paying lower tax rates than middle-class workers. They just voted to give an average tax cut of at least $150,000 to the wealthiest Americans, folks like me who don't need it, weren't asking for it. And the way they pay for it is to cut things like education and job training to give students opportunities to work and succeed. So they can't be too serious about deficits. I mean, do we want to keep tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans who don't need them, didn't ask for them, the country can't afford it, or do we want to make sure that everybody pays their fair share and make sure that young people are able to afford to go to college? Do we want to keep giving taxpayers taxpayer giveaways to big oil, or do we want to invest in clean energy? And do we want to make sure that we can keep interest rates on millions of students affordable? We need to be investing in the things that build America over the long term. Things like education and science, and caring for our veterans, and a strong military. And we can't have it both ways. We've got to make choices. You know, in America, we admire success. We aspire to it. I want everybody here to do great, be rich, go out and start a business. That's wonderful. We work and we hustle. You study hard to get your degree because you believe in success and individual initiative. But America is not just about a few people doing well. America is about everybody having the chance to do well. That's what we're doing. You know, some of us had parents or grandparents who said, you know, maybe I can't go to college, but someday my son can go to college. Maybe I can't start my own business, but someday my daughter, she can start her own business. Maybe I'm an immigrant and I won't have every opportunity, but I believe that in this country, in this place, this is a place where no matter who you are, or what you look like, or where you come from, or what your last name is, you can make it if you try. That's what America's about. That's who we are. That's who we are. Send a message to folks who don't seem to get this, that, you know, setting your sights lower, that's not an education plan. You're on your own, that's not an economic plan. We can't just cut our way to prosperity. Earlier generations made investments necessary to build a strong middle class. Somebody started this university. Somebody gave us a chance. Somebody made the investment in us because they helped to forge America's leadership in things like science and technology and manufacturing. That's what previous generations did, and now it's our turn. Somebody here might be discovering the cure for cancer. Somebody here might be getting the formula for fusion. Somebody here might be inventing the next great American industry, but that's only going to happen if we understand that we're in this together. And that's why I need your help. I'm asking everybody who's here and anybody who's watching, anybody who's following online, you need to send a message to your member of Congress. Tell them you're not going to set your sights lower. Tell them you're not going to settle for something less. You call them, you email them, you write on their Facebook page, tweet. We've got actually a hashtag that I want everybody to use. Don't double my rate. It's pretty, everybody, I want you to repeat that. Don't double my rate. I asked students in North Carolina to do this earlier today, and they got it trending worldwide for a while. So let's see if you can do better. Because we've got to keep the heat on. Your voice matters. You've got to stand up. You've got to be heard. You've got to be counted. You've got to tell them now's not the time to double your interest rates on student loans. Now's the time to double down on the investments in a strong and secure middle class, and double down on an America that's built to last. You, me, all of us, we're here because somebody somewhere, starting with our parents or our grandparents or our great-grandparents, they made an investment not just in themselves but in each other and in the future of our country, and now it's our turn. It's our turn to keep that promise alive. And that's what drives me every single day. You know, when I was running for this office, I said to people, look, I will not be a perfect man or a perfect president. But here's what I can do, is I can work every single day, as hard as I know how, to make sure that you've got a chance, to make sure you can live out your hopes and your dreams. And I'm not about to quit now. We don't give up here in America. We get up, we get each other's back, we help each other get ahead, we work together, and if you all are willing to join me, I guarantee you, not only will we stop these interest rates from going up, but we're going to remind the rest of the world just why it is that America is the greatest nation on earth. God bless you. God bless you.